So I was around 10 years old, and there was this home computer called ZX Spectrum, which was built by an English company called Sinclair. So there was like decent games on that we used to play and really like Chalky Egg, A Tick Attack, Load Runner. And then later on I saw a game called The Hobbit, which was a text-based adventure game that I really liked. And I was always thinking, you know, if we can make a game one day that actually have a story and you can get involved, that would be really cool. So this is around like 85, 1986, somewhere around that. So in the 90s, when I was getting my bachelor's in mathematics, I looked at lots of LucasArts games that I really liked. Green Fandango, Monkey Island, Days of Tentacles, Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis. That kind of inspired me to actually at some point do an adventure game. So around late 90s, I was thinking, you know, with some artist friends, if we can start a company and do a very decent Persian 3D game, that would be cool. There weren't any Persian 3D game made at the time. Of course, Prince of Persia was out, which was a very good game in terms of how it worked, but we thought if we could have something that shows the splendor of Persian civilization and be authentic to show how the Persian historic sites and stories were all about, that would be fantastic. So we started a company with some artist friends and started developing our own game called Quest of Persia. So when we wanted to develop Quest of Persia game, we needed a game engine basically, and back then in 2003 there weren't like game engines everywhere that you can use. You could license them, but they were really expensive. So we started developing our own engine, QOP engine, which basically it was, back then it could render some BSP, some collision detections, and very basic stuff. So the first Quest of Persia game is a very simple FPS game. So for the second and third Quest of Persia game, we wanted to do a third-person sword fighting game. So it's a third-person action game, more complicated. We licensed a very cheap engine for like $100. It was mostly just rendering engine, and then we had to do everything else in terms of gameplay ourselves, making sure that works. But the second and third Quest of Persia game, they were very successful. So after that, I worked on a couple of other console games like Ninja Gaiden, Epic of Kings, and other stuff. And then I came here to Microsoft, which I think it's amazing. Lots of people here that I work with. Some of the people that I dreamed that I can work with. For instance, Mark Simon, he was the camera designer on God of War 3, which was a game that for another project we were basically trying to find out exactly how that camera system works. Now that we have Mark Simon and I can work with him, basically that's just amazing because he's the person that actually designed all those cameras. So working at Microsoft is amazing. Lots of people with talents that you cannot find anywhere else. And now I'm working on State of Decay 2, which is a very interesting game, and I'm really happy working with Microsoft and Undead on State of Decay 2.